What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Tanya Smith here with Stream Like a Boss TV. And I'm super excited about the guest that I'm going to be bringing to you tonight, Chris Stone of Cast Ahead and Dealcasters podcast. There's so much in his bio. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I want to make sure that you get a chance to get introduced to him personally in just a few seconds. But if you have been here on the show before, if you've been in the chat, part of the family, I want you to type in hashtag OG. If this is your very first time ever showing up for a Stream Like a Boss TV episode, you've been missing things and you need to put in a hashtag newbie so we can welcome you to the family. I am super excited and thrilled to bring to you each and every week a little bit of a taste of what it means to be a live stream marketer. I love talking to people about how to actually use live streaming and video content to be able to stand out online, sell more of your services, and, do all the things that you want to do to be visible. So here's what we're going to do in just a few minutes. I see a lot of people popping up in here that are friends of Chris. So I got to get off of the screen and make sure I put him on the screen because that's who they're really here to see. But again, I'm thrilled that we have him here, and I'm going to make sure I bring him on in just a second. So let me just say hello to everybody that is here, and we'll definitely do that together in just a second. Go ahead and grab yourself a pen, a notepad, because you're going to be taking notes. I just know you will. And your favorite drink or hydration, whatever that might be. And we will see you on the other side of this short video. I want you to be answering this question of the day, by the way, in the chat. Have you used Descript? And if so, how are you using it? And I'll be right back with Chris on stage. Okay? We'll see you in a second.
My notepad.
You got your notepad for what?
Hydration.
He's already got jokes.
What I do when I come to your show is I bring my notepad. So, Tanya, this is awesome. I can't wait to chop it up with you. And I just want to let James Hicks know that I ate your snacks. So don't be coming here asking about snacks. He's already busting my chops, and we just got started.
Look, you know what, Hicks? Behave. Look, I got to pop up some of these comments. Do we want to say hello to some folks?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, because this is going to be fun. I can see it already. So first of all, yeah, Hicks did say he came because he thought there were going to be some snacks.
No Scooby snacks. I ate them all.
Thank you, Nine Design. Like the intro. Appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Solid.
Dan says, I didn't realize this was going to be the podcasting Met Gala tonight with all the celebrities.
Man, I better straighten up and act right now. Dan Ross in the house. I mean, geez, this is
scary.
It is. It's scary.
And there's your partner.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Dealcasters podcast.
Lieutenant Colonel James W. Fuse.
This is why I like James. I like James because he and my husband have a lot in common. He knows what I'm talking about. All right,
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Always
a
Marine.
Hey, Catherine.
Catherine, hi, newbie. We love it. And you're from LinkedIn, too. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Catherine's awesome.
Chris put, I ate your snacks. So he typed it in there. Somehow he did that in between.
In between taking notes and drinking my favorite beverage.
Drinking his favorite beverage and all of the things. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, she wasn't talking to me?
No, she's talking to me. It was me.
No, you're right. You're right. You do have, it's like butter in your ears. You've dialed in that MV7, that branded up MV7. You got it dialed in.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting answers to the question about Descript. That's awesome. Okay. I almost used Descript. Look, I fell back too, Catherine, and that's why I have Chris on the show to try to convince me to actually use it. So I'm interested in hearing what he has to say so that I can now finally use it. He said, I'm sure you have an AppSumo deal. Probably somewhere, but no, nothing. I don't think there's much out there that's like Descript. So I'm interested in just kind of hearing Chris Stone talk about it from the perspective of an expert and a pro. Because, yeah, so Valerie said the same thing. I've looked at it, got scared, and closed it.
Oh, don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I was scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Wait, I got one more. I got to pop this comment up because this is funny. You got a live one. She's saying you. You're talking about you.
Hey, we go live. We stream like a boss up in here. This isn't like we don't just show up and just kind of go through the notes and go through slide presentations. This ain't no Zoom call. We're gonna stream like a boss tonight. Let's go.
Hey. This is wait. Let me see if I have it. Do I have it?
Stream like a boss.
I do.
See?
I got it.
Who's
What?
live? Who's live? I'm live. You're live. Let's go.
Look, so Stacy is from the ATL too. So I have to tell
Okay,
you, Stacy,
Stacy.
I just found out that Chris is in ATL. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do we need to know about the Chris Stone? Because look, I'm fangirling. I know your bio. I know what's going on. I know all the deets. What do people need to know about you?
Well, Stacy and I had a rainy day today in Atlanta. So, Stacy, I hope you had your umbrella and you probably had to stay indoors like I did. But my name is Chris Stone. I have a company called Cast Ahead where we work with motivated entrepreneurs to do a show because, there's a lot of people out there. They're keynote speakers. They're, business owners. They're mattress store owners. They want to do a show. They want to do a podcast. They want to learn how to do it all. They just want somebody to do it for them, and that's what we do. I also co-host a show called Dealcasters with Lieutenant Colonel James Fuse, or Jim Fuse of Fusion Marketing. It's called Dealcasters, and we go live on Amazon and solve people's problems in the middle of the biggest mall of the world. And so I love to be able to get on shows like this and kind of share what I know about content creation because I do that for my clients, and there's all kinds of different types of clients that I serve. And I always love to go onto YouTube University and learn things from people like Tanya Smith and Dan Roth and James Hicks and all these great people. And so I figure I'd go live and maybe share some of the stuff that I know.
So look at this. I have to tell y'all a little bit of backstory. So Chris, you don't know this, but when I watch other people's shows, because I'm like you, I watch YouTube University. When I watch other people's shows, I pay attention and I make wish lists of people that I think would be great on the show. And that is why I reached out, because I was like, Chris has a lot to share. He has a lot of knowledge. I think he would be excellent for my show. I hope he says yes. So y'all, I sent him a begging video. Could you please find it in your heart and in your calendar to come and be on my show? And he said yes. But not only did he say yes, y'all, I was like, okay, so I'm not sure exactly what we want to talk about, Chris. And Chris sent me this email with this like laundry list of things that he could talk about. Like a whole long, like, the Santa list that's like super long and keeps stretching.
The CVS receipt.
The CVS receipt that you can wrap around like a scarf. That's what he sent
Right.
me. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to pick. I'm just going to pick something because you do have so much knowledge. So why Descript? Tell me why Descript would be of interest to you. Why do you use it? What's so great about it? Because I want to be convinced, and I see some folks in here that are wanting to be convinced too of what it can do, and that it's not as scary as it seems.
I don't work for Descript, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. And yeah, the program it's daunting. There's a lot under the hood. And I think somebody else mentioned, when they used it, Descript before, a few people had mentioned they were a little scared of it. And, Here's the other thing they do. They update it fairly often. So you'll, like every other week, you have to restart it, and it changes. And a couple times you'll go back in, you're like, what happened? Everything's changed. They've moved all the furniture in here. So it's one of those things that you've got to kind of pop in and use it, and at least kind of stay familiar with it. And so for me, I serve a lot of different clients, and they have varying different needs. And it's not just transcription, but what everyone's needs have been to create social content from longer form podcasts. And so I decided a while ago that I wasn't going to use an easy button to do this. I wasn't going to grab some piece of software off of AppSumo, or like Dan had mentioned, or just, there's some great software out there, and it's created some great solutions. First thing that comes to mind is what James Hicks is doing with Opus Clips. I think he's transcended like what you see most of the time. What I wanted to do is to create something that is on brand with the clients that I serve. When you come to Tanya Smith's show, you're in her show. You're seeing the purple, the magenta, the pink. You're seeing the vibe. You're seeing like there is something that's going on. And it's not just what you see, but it's also what you hear. It's the content that she provides to this community. And so when you have something that you treat in terms of social media, and you want it to be on brand with yourself, you, as the content creator, needs to drive that. You cannot allow an algorithm to completely drive what you want to do to serve your community. And that includes social media. Because what's happening is a lot of people are using these services, and they're just rubber stamping all of this content. And it gets out on the other end, and it looks like everything else. It looks like, oh my gosh, that's Alex Hormozy's font. This looks exactly like this, and this looks exactly like this person. And they don't take the time to go, does this make sense for the audience that I serve? And that is what I do for the content that I do for the people that I serve at Cast Ahead and at Dealcasters, but also for the clients that I serve and who they're serving. And so it has to not just look like them, not just have their hex code and their font and their colors and them, on the show, but what they're saying has to make sense to serve the community. And so when you have Descript and you have this powerful program that you can go in and you can say, here is an hour and 20-minute interview, and I have to create stories that are 59 seconds or less in vertical format from this thing, I can look at it and use the AI that's inside of Descript and say, hey, find me some clips here that have these stories in here. And then you have the full thing, and you can say, okay, here is a minute 20. How can I get it down to 59 seconds, edit it down, and create a vertical video that I know will speak to my audience?
So I didn't even know that Descript could do that.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea that it could do that. The last time I used Descript, because I did try, the last time I used it, I think I was doing a lot of manual work. So I was going in and kind of, selecting words and hoping and praying that I got a really good clip. Like, maybe I can use this clip. So I think that it's awesome. When did AI get introduced? Do you know how long has it been a part of the Descript environment? And do you see that there is a need for people to have, maybe because you mentioned something that I want to go back to. You mentioned the fact that they change a lot. And that's what I noticed too, is I couldn't keep up. Every time I thought I was learning it, they were changing a lot. So how do you suggest that people really keep up with the changes that are going on in Descript? Because again, I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways to do it. The first thing to do is to jump on YouTube University and find the latest videos from the Descript channel and kind of go through. And I think they do a good job. They'll do a show every couple of weeks, and a lot of it they'll go back and start at ground zero And so they'll say, okay, we're getting ready to do a podcast. And, it may relate to you, it may not relate to you, but you find a show that relates to you and you kind of say, okay, they're talking how I can do social media or how I can do, edit an audio podcast, which are two different things, but they both can do that. And then, they will start from scratch and, watch a replay and go, grab the chapter that you need and you'll kind of get caught up to where everything is. They're like, okay, go here for this, go here for this. And they do a really good job there. But I would say the other thing you could do is when you open up Descript, in the very upper right-hand corner, there's a question mark. And you click on it and you go and it'll tell you everything that it has updated all the way back. So they have a log of all of the changes that they've made. And so a lot of the changes that they make it doesn't matter. Like it's completely inconsequential. It's all like coder stuff. Oh, we did this, that did this, and the flux capacitor flipped this switch. And you're like, that doesn't do anything for me. Right. But it was updated and you had to restart it and whatever. But every once in a while, they'll come up with an update. And the latest update, and I did a video with it for it on my YouTube channel, is edit for clarity. So it's an AI functionality. A lot of times you'll say something and you'll say something at the beginning of what you said, like, and so what I really am saying, comma, you'll say that. But if you go to edit for clarity, you'll just pull that out. Because why do you even need to say that?
Oh, wow.
You don't even need to say that. And so there's a lot of ways for you. And so a lot of times you can go in and say, okay, you talked about selecting something and hoping and praying. Well, if you select something that's like I said, like 1:20 or something like that, and then go in and edit for clarity, sometimes that will just crunch your thing down to, less than 59 seconds. And you go back and listen to it. Now, it still might not be perfect, right? You may have to it may chop a word a little bit, like when I say or you can take out all the filler words. You can take out the words that you repeat. So if I were to say, and then another word, it would take out one of the says. Okay. But sometimes the second say it might be better than the first say. So you have to go in and go, and there's a quick way to do it. Like, I don't like the way that sounded. So let me choose the first say. And you just kind of go through as an editor to do that. And that all sounds like a lot of work. But trust me, if you do it enough, you end up, with some videos that look a little more engaging, that are a little more on brand for you. And you can kind of pull in some stock video and some, pull in your hex code and pull in do a green screen so you can have, some stuff that's pulls in from, and then if you do, well, look at this guy. Who's this guy right here?
Is that Hicks right there?
Yeah. And if you do an interview and you do content like we're doing right now, you pull in your ISO videos from things like Ecamm and StreamYard and such, and you pull those in, and now you can do what's called a sequence. And so like tonight, our interview, you and I, Tanya, we have those ISO videos that we get from Ecamm. I pull those into Descript and I create a sequence. And so what that'll do is like, it'll take your ISO video and my ISO video, and I can create an entire podcast in vertical format if I wanted to, broadcast that on Instagram if I wanted to, broadcast that on YouTube and, full vertical, or chop it up and make social clips from it.
That is slick. And we got a lot of comments I need to get caught up on, but
okay, let's do it.
I do have a question about the eye thing. So I don't want to forget to ask you about that. When your eyes are not looking at the screen, because I saw that someone did something with that. And that freaked me out. Like, wait, how do they do that? First of all, Strick is in the house. What's up, DJ Strick?
Oh, what's going on, Strick?
What's up? Let's see. Catherine says she's shifting platforms so that she can hang out with the cool kids.
That's why I'm on Dealcasters. That's exactly why I'm on Dealcasters, because he's too cool. Everybody
wants to hang out with Jim. Jim, that's don't be surprised if you get a begging video in your inbox. If I had known y'all solve people's problems, I'd have been listening more. I have a lot of problems for y'all to fix.
Now, Catherine, this is tech problems. These are, let's just keep.
I like you, Catherine. Did Chris send you his writer? No green M&Ms. I didn't put any in. He told me, Jeff. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like,
Mm-hmm.
no green. I did have the purple ones though. The
You know what my
special
jam
purple ones.
is?
What's your jam?
Tanya, the pretzel M&Ms. You ever have those?
I like pretzels and
Oh,
chocolate.
pretzel
So
M&Ms. It's like a nugget pretzel
what?
inside of an M&M. Oh,
Oh, I need
oh,
to go get some. Okay, I didn't even know. Look, I have not paid attention to much lately outside of all things video, but I need to go take a look at this. Great to see my unicorn. Awesome, awesome. Everybody saying hello in the comments. Let's see. I'm about to deep dive into Descript. Just need a code for 3 months free. I know that's right. Hey, I know Descript usually they have some type of promo code with different events and things like that pop up. So
mm-hmm.
maybe there's one out there. Chris is one of the best video editors I
Oh,
know. It's
I'll tell
true.
you what. This man, Jeff C., I learned a lot about Descript from him. And he's got a Descript 101 course. So
He
anybody
does.
who, yeah, so anybody who,
Yes.
and I took it and I learned a ton from it. And so anybody who does get Descript, like first thing you need to do is go buy Jeff C's course. And I think it's jeffc.com/Descript101.
Jeff, pop it in the chat if you can, because I think that's right. And I remember because we recently did a show together, and I think I saw that. So that would be awesome. In fact, I have it on my list of things to buy. But first, I needed to be convinced. So that's why Chris is here, is to convince me to even use it in the first place. Hold up. So James Hicks, thank you, because this is one
Uh-oh.
of the things that I'm noticing too about a lot of these platforms, especially with AI platforms. It's so important when you're investing in this software to have additional support. So I'm glad that they
Yeah.
do have an active community. That makes total
Yeah.
sense. Okay. And then Harry says, hey, what's up? What's up? What's
What's
up? What's
up,
up?
Harry the big dog?
Love it. Wait, Hicks put the secret code, hex code in here.
That's his hex code. I mean, this dude, I think he's got it tattooed somewhere on his body too. I don't know. I can't be sure.
Look,
I think
now
it's
we're all going to go steal the Hicks hex code and look like Hicks. I don't think I couldn't pull it off though. He's too unique. And
Yeah,
never have
that's
it pull
true.
all the filler. Yeah, I think so too, Jeff. That makes sense.
Yeah, so Jeff brings up a good point. So this remove filler words for Descript is one of their most popular functions because everybody takes away the ums and the you knows
Yeah.
and the likes, and you have to be judicious about it. And okay, but you still need to kind of go back and listen because sometimes you'll say and a word, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna find somewhere to cut. And as being an audio editor like I was for years, you have to leave the uhs in there because it's what's left is worse if you chop it right in the middle of there. So you have to be judicious. I never select like as a word to remove because when you actually say like, I
Mm-hmm.
like being on the show with Tanya Smith,
Oh,
the script would remove it, and
okay.
because it's the word like. So you have to be judicious. If someone is a like machine on your show and you have to remove it for whatever reason, just realize that there's going to be potentially some real likes where it's with proper usage that
Mm-hmm.
you'll need to maybe go back and change. And it's real easy to undo a lot of things. It's got another. I feel like I'm just like a Descript salesman for Tanya Smith
I know.
tonight, but but like you can go. Here's what I did. I did a client video. So as you know, I'm making my new site or making content for my new site. Somebody else is doing it for me, but it
Yeah.
should be ready in about a month. And I did a video and I said something the wrong way. And I did this whole huge video and I was like, oh my, I do not want to go back in and redo this. Like
Yeah.
you can't, I'm wearing a certain shirt. It was like the day before, like you just can't, I'm like, I don't want to redo this video. So I went into Descript and I changed it and it has what's called overdub. So
Okay.
I said something wrong. I can't remember exactly what it says, what I did that was incorrect, but I went in and changed it and it sounded like I said it. Now, my face was still the video saying it the wrong way. So I
Oh,
had to get
okay.
creative with editing it. So it didn't show my lips saying it because I changed the words so the audio sounds right. But
So did it look
you
like
know,
one of those old movies, the karate movies that I used to watch, where they
right? Yes.
have the lips moving? Yeah. Okay.
James
Yeah.
Hicks, you challenge me.
Exactly. Those were my favorite. They really were. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to just talk about Descript because I do want to get your take on AI
Yeah.
and where the topic is really humanizing, right? So
Yeah.
making sure that we're humanizing with AI. So I do want to talk a little bit about that, but I know there's some other comments in here too. Yeah, folks. Yeah. Let me pop this up. You need to see this. Let's give you some flowers. Jeffrey Fitzgerald, excellent interview. Chris is the knowledge bomb that drops wisdom hacks anywhere he goes. Thank you so much for the compliment, Jeff. Jeffrey.
Thank you.
I don't
Jeff
shorten
and High
people's
Def
names.
is like that is a huge compliment to you, Tanya, because Jeff is a legend
Oh,
in
really?
video and live video. He is an absolute legend. And yeah, Tanya, you do it right. This is just a fantastic show, and you've been doing it like this for years. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. I always just get this little, like, I don't know.
Old kung fu movies.
I love the old Kung Fu movies too. I love it. Hicks said that overdub is crazy, sexy, cool. It's amazing. I love it. I
Look
love it.
at
I love it.
the other night. I jumped on James's show because his guest was a no-show, and I had to jump on because he was dogging Descript. And
What?
now look at him. Now he's sold. Now he's coming in talking about how sexy overdub is
Now he's a
in the
fan?
script.
I
Flip a
love it.
coin, James.
Oh, and this Jeff was explaining in the comments about why you don't take out all the ums and you don't do all the filler words because it doesn't sound as natural.
That's right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's
Yeah,
talk a
and I
little.
think
Oh, go ahead.
yeah. So this is kind of AI does this. It's detecting these things. It's going in and it's pulling those things out. And sounding natural is a huge component of it. So I have some clients and I would go to them and I would give them the video and they would be like, you got to pull out this, you got to pull out this, pull out this. And then you'd edit something, whether it was an audio podcast or a video. And I couldn't stand it. And I would say, this just doesn't sound like you. And I think you
Yes.
have to, this is the wonderful part about live video, Tanya, is that you and I tonight are here and we're having the conversation. There's this transfer of energy that's happening between you and I and between the people that are here in the chat. And artificial intelligence is not involved in it.
Yep.
And this is us. This is you and I, and this is what we're doing, right? And so I feel like when we talk about humanizing AI, don't be afraid of it. Absolutely don't be afraid of it. And be able to utilize it properly, but know the limits of what you can do and know that on the other side of this, whenever this is that people will want to be with other people. It will be there is a human to human interaction. There will be artificial intelligence and it's going to be like electricity eventually. It's just going to be, you're not going to think about it until the power goes out, right? And so, but it's a part of everything that we're doing. It's a part of what we're doing, right now. And I think when, Jeff C says this as well, it's going to make us better storytellers. We have to be able to do this the right way. We can't just go, well, I don't need to do a podcast. I'm just going to click a few buttons and put it through 11 labs, and then it's going to make a podcast for me. Is that going to resonate with people? I mean, you could do it and it probably would generate some views, but is it really going to have someone be interested in doing business with you?
But don't you
Probably
see
not.
people doing that right now? Because I've seen people just totally going all in on AI without understanding the human component still has to
Mhm.
be at the core of everything. When was the pivotal moment for you when you realized the potential of AI in enhancing storytelling? You just mentioned storytelling, so I wanted to bring that question up. When did you realize, hey, this could be useful in what I already do? Because you're already a legend at all this stuff, and digital media was a thing for you before AI really became a popular tool for people to access. So, when was that moment for you?
I've been a musician for most of my life. I played in bands ever since I was 11 years old, and I learned how to play a bass, and because everybody needed a bass player in a band, so I was like, this is my quickest way to get there. And creating music was as organic of a thing for content creation as it could be. Of course, that was in 1981 or whenever that was, and so there wasn't, there may have been quote unquote artificial intelligence back then, but it wasn't, what everyone was using to market everything like they are now. And so when you are interested in computers and technology to help you develop and create, there's nothing wrong with that. The first time I was able to get Cakewalk for my computer and create MIDI and all those things to create music with computers. Now I look back at it and it seems absolutely archaic, but it wasn't that long ago. And now I was just on a call today with this company called Suno.ai, and it creates music that actually sounds, I mean, it's not great, but it
Mm-hmm.
actually sounds, in all you have to do is type in a prompt and have it say, in the style of Johnny Cash, do a song about stream like a boss and mention Tanya Smith. And it will create a song that sounds like that now in
Wow.
like a minute and a half. And you listen to it, but it's not, I can't tell you exactly why, but I know when I hear artificial intelligence. I
Mm-hmm.
know when I see it. Like it's getting better and better, and that whole learning thing, and it seems to be now that there's this huge interest in it. There's this tidal wave of all of these things that are coming. But when I see a picture of someone that I can tell that they've done something with artificial intelligence, I'm
Yeah.
like, are you hiding something? Right? It's almost like the green screen, that you've got behind you that's hiding all of the mess that you've got behind you, or or like the artificial intelligence video of the commercial where people are eating hot dogs and there's another hot dog coming out of their head, and
Yeah.
it's like it just
And
doesn't. It's
extra
not real.
fingers. Yeah.
Right? Exactly, and it's just not real. And I just feel like when you're in the business of trust, which is what we are, we're content creators, and the people that we want to involve ourselves with, potentially make business with, trust is our currency. And I can't present something that is not me, but
Mm-hmm.
I can certainly use artificial intelligence to help me be better.
I love
Does that
that.
make sense?
It makes total sense.
Okay.
I had Liz Wilcox on the show. It was several weeks back, and she's an email marketing guru. Like she's the maven of all email marketing. She calls
Oh
herself the
yeah, she's
fresh princess of email, right? And she
TV
came
star now
on,
too, right?
yeah, and she's on Survivor. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
she um, she talked about this when it came to email. And I think some people might have missed the point, but it really is the same point that you're making now, that we have to be careful we're not chipping away at our credibility as business owners, as creators, as entrepreneurs by turning over. And I see somebody, it was Catherine that put it in here. Let me pop it up. Said, don't give AI the power of defining your voice. We all still have our own voice to share, and we have to make sure that we start first with our own ideas, our own experiences. What we know needs to be out in the front. We're using AI as a complement to what we already are doing.
That's
So
right.
I love that you said that, because she said the same thing. She said people need to stop writing emails using AI and use their own thoughts. Like, be real. Here's a question for you from Roy, Tech Troublemaker. Can you do J
What's up,
cuts
Roy?
and L cuts in Descript editing?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's really crazy how good of an editor it is. Here's my only because I don't get paid by Descript, so this is why I can be completely honest with you. Here's the thing I don't like, and I've told them that they need to change. Their transitions are hot garbage. There, I said it. So, sad trombone. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, please. Yes. I can't believe I got the sad trombone. Yeah, I win. I feel like I won tonight. No, but so it does so many great things, but I don't exclusively use it to do my video edits. I just don't. I start there. Absolutely. You'll get the transcription. You can edit things. You can resize things. You can move things and pull in stock video if you want to pull in stock video. I don't use their stock music. It's not that it isn't good. It's just that I typically will pull it out and port it into my video DAW, which is Final Cut. Okay. And then I will, I'll add my transitions and my music there. But you can do, I know Jeff does a lot of his, I would almost maybe 100% of his videos in there. For me, transitions are kind of a big deal. I also, my burns and my zooms, I also need something a little cleaner. So I know it's probably my perfectionism coming out, but jump cuts and things like that, you can absolutely do in Descript. It's real easy to do because you just hit, your cut on one side, your cut on the other, and just expand it, to jump. And if you want to jump with the words, you have the words right there. I know we were going to talk about maybe doing a screen share, but what you do is when you've got the words up, you hit a slash, you hit the // and that creates another.
You want me to pull your screen share up? You want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
Let's do that. Let's see what he's got, because Chris got stuff.
Here we go. Hopefully everybody, can you see the? It's not showing the. That's interesting. You're not seeing the purple Pro mouse.
I see your screen where it says Chris's Drive workspace.
Yeah, but I've got I guess the screen share is not working across what we're doing here. But here's what I'll do. So let me pull up something and let me pull up this. All right, so the cool thing is like when you pull in your video, it'll look something like, let me just do this. It'll look something like this, right? Here's the standard video of Chris. This was from a talk that I did at Podcasting Made Simple. And it comes in, it's standard widescreen. But you saw it was really easy for me to just flip to go to portrait. And then I just click on this, fill canvas, and boom, there's big version of Chris on there. But every time you go in and you hit slash, so let's say I want to change the scene right here after I say the word stepping out, and I hit the slash key, you'll see it creates another scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, you can just do something else. You move it around. Like in the case that Roy was talking about, if I want to do a jump cut, I can certainly do a jump cut, by hitting another slash here. And so I just take this portion of the video and do that. And so now when I hit play, you got the jump cut.
That was super easy too.
Yeah. And so, these are all, you can see all this list. These are all the clips that I've made from one 15-minute talk. You see that long list that I did?
That's
and so
I
just, right, let me find one that I've done just to kind of give you an example that shows some stock video. Probably made too many, didn't
Look,
I?
you will never
All right.
ever run out of content ever.
Well, that's the thing. That's the other thing too, is that when you have a tool like this that you can use, what I've noticed that I do a lot more is that I record myself locally when I'm on shows. So like
Yeah.
tonight, I'll ask Tanya for the ISO videos and
Mm-hmm.
I'll create a bunch of content from the show. But lots of times you'll do a show with someone and they don't have the capabilities to send you the isolated video files. And so all I do is with Ecamm is I record my own screen while
Mm-hmm.
now I don't have the guest speaking, but I've got my own content. So if I end up saying something that like I can use in social media, I've got a bunch of content and I just plop it into Descript. And every time you're on screen and you're doing something, you're saying something. And you're
Yeah.
saying something maybe a little bit differently every time because you're speaking to a different audience, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking to you community tonight based on the questions that they're asking and by the questions that you're asking. I may speak to the mattress industry network in a couple of weeks because they're interested in starting some podcasts, right? I may say somewhat of the same things, but they're a different audience. So it's a different type of content that I can do. So you don't have a bunch of content where you're saying the same thing, you just have a different shirt on. You're addressing different people in different ways, but you're still driving the same message. And so when you have something like Descript at your disposal, you can plop it in there and then you're like, you don't have to go, what was it that I said on Tanya's show? I said something
Yeah.
about a jump cut and I can't remember what it was. I really wish I could go back and find that. You don't have to worry about it. You go into Descript, you type in jump cut, you find the clip and there you go. You got it. You can pull it in. So for me, such a huge time saver to be able to go for, and I'm talking about this for myself, but I've got a bunch of clients that do the same thing to me. Hey, Chris, there was a clip where we talked to, Joe Blow in July about, this, that, and the other. Can you get it? Can you make a clip? I can say yes, and then I can charge him for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another just sort of tool because they would never be able to do it themselves. And so that is creating value, and that's valuable to to the clients that you serve, and it's valuable because you're going to end up getting money for it. So
that's right.
So this is an example of, like, you could see here. This is all stock video that I've pulled in, and you could see right here the slashes are what change the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see another scene here. So you see this is the scene from Zoo.
Funny.
Right? And so this is another thing that Descript does is it has a automatic green screen, so it carves you out, and then you put video behind yourself, or kind of moving footage or whatever. And this is just a single thing, but it also works for doing a podcast. You got two people on the screen, and how many times you in a vertical video are you able to see like facial recognition and like if I were to say something you thought was funny and then you laugh during it, you want to get that on the screen, and you could do that in Descript really easily.
I think that's the big differentiator. I want to say this. I'm going to pop us over to comments in a second, but one of the differentiators that I see from what you're showing us tonight with Descript and some of the other tools that I've done reviews on that do just video clipping is that it looks like Descript has the capability to do a whole lot more. That you can, for instance, add your own B-roll. You have a little bit more control, a lot more control over exactly what it's clipping and what you're able to do with it. Seems like there's just more possibility. I think that's what I'm getting from this.
It's possibility, but it's also your ability to be you. Yeah. Your ability to James calls this, you rise above the noise. So if you're using all of these other programs and just doing, like how many times you looked on YouTube and seen a thumbnail and go, oh, they got that from Canva.
Yeah.
Because all they did was they went in, they used the Canva template and they typed different words in there. Yeah. Maybe changed the picture from what was the stock picture to themselves. Right? This is what's happening in social video, is that all of these videos are looking the same, and it's creating this huge pile of mediocrity in the middle. And the stuff that's going to resonate is the stuff that sets itself apart. And, you may be doing this every once in a while, getting lucky and seeing thousands and 10,000s of views, but they're just drive-bys. You got lucky with some views and it doesn't matter. None of the videos that I have put out that have gotten huge amounts of views have done anything for me other than got huge amount of views.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah,
They just don't. They just don't do anything for it.
about the TikTok thing. So I decided I wanted to live stream on TikTok for some reason. I don't know why. I was just like, hey, I'm doing live stream everywhere. I'm going to figure this out. And so I kept hearing the fastest way to get to, because you have to have that minimum, number of followers. The fastest way to do it is to get on a boat. It was a boat trend. It was a video boat trend. And so I'm dead serious. And so I was like, this sounds so stupid, but I'm going to do it and see what happens. And literally within 24 hours, I made it over 1,000 followers from a boat. But did any of those people care one lick about the content that I share or what I know? No, they didn't. They just enjoyed the boat. She's on the trend, so we're going to like it. So I do think we have to definitely be careful that we're putting, like you said, intention and purpose behind our content and that we're standing out and being more unique.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Tanya, because I see this so often when people are trying to get, create impact on these platforms. And what they do is they go, well, you have to look and see what's trending. Mm-hmm. And then that's where they start. And that's where I'm done. Like I don't chase. Okay. I look into a field and I mow it. That's what I'm doing. I'm because it goes back to the first thing I said, serve the audience, serve who is in your audience always. Don't forget it. And don't chase the trends. If you chase the trends, you lose your audience, which is your currency. You lose everyone that you've built to be a part of your tribe. And so many people just go like the boat trend. I love that. I'm going to totally use that because I'm like, that is like that's just, you're right. It's just like, this feels so wrong and stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, my face looked like, okay, why the heck am I on this boat? Like, I guess that got likes too, but I'm thinking why? Because I would never, you won't see that again. I'm never going to do that again. So now do you just not like me? Because I'm not doing any more boats? I got to pull some of these comments up.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Oh, well, fusion marketing. Yep, Jim. I'm just saying. Yeah, and Valerie, you remember that trend. I remember that.
Valerie, did you get on a boat too?
I think she got on a boat too. I think I remember seeing that.
Okay.
Also, Nine Design earlier, I didn't pop this up at the time, but was saying it's really cool what you were showing on screen with the demo for Descript. So very
all that
cool
stuff, Nine Design and whoever else cares, on my YouTube channel, I do a bunch of this stuff. So I go through my entire workflow. I did it on the Podfest AI Masterclass. Went through my entire workflow. It's on my YouTube channel. So if you guys are curious on how to go through steps A through Z, it's on there, including captions and how to brand all of that stuff. So you're welcome to jump on the YouTube channel and subscribe if you'd like. Hit the bell and the thumbs and all of that good stuff. But I put a bunch of Descript videos on there.
I wanted to pull this up so people could see one of your other pages too. But if you go to this page, Chris, is your YouTube channel, I'm thinking, is on here too, right?
Yeah. Yep. At the very top is all my platforms that you can connect on. YouTube's one of them. Yeah.
Okay. So at the very
I spend
top,
most of my time on LinkedIn for the most part. LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube.
Very cool. So get connected with Chris. He's working on his website, so we'll have to have you come back to the show just so you can share your website.
Okay.
Once it's
That's
done.
a deal.
Done.
It better be good now. Jeez.
I know. The pressure is on, dude. Look. Don't come half stepping. I need to see
I know.
this website needs to be
full
up.
step here. Full step. I'm a full step gentleman.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. Catherine said AI is a tool. Think of it like an electric mixer. You put the ingredients in, the AI does the hard work. I like this, Catherine. Yeah,
You have
yeah.
whipped cream, a whisk. Okay, now, Catherine, you're making me hungry.
I d- First it was
Oh, that's
Hicks
some
talking about
dessert.
snacks, and now she's talking about whipped cream. Oh my gosh. Wow.
It's like a
Let's
food
see.
show.
I know. I could never do a food show. Great point, Dan. Yep. It is constantly changing, so you can't just rely on one tool. Yeah. And I agree. Dan, yeah, editing has been kind of one of my Achilles heels, honestly. But if something like Descript can help me to make it easier, then I'm willing to take a try, take a stab at it. Right Mix for Business by Sue Ann. I'm so behind. I just tried CapCut very recently. I like CapCut. What do you think about CapCut? Is that
I'm not a fan.
too templatey?
To me, it's I wasn't able to. It wasn't intuitive for me, and yeah, there's a lot of templates. And again, just kind of going back to to some of these other programs, is that when you see a template, you're going to see thousands of templates on social media that are they're using the very same
Yeah,
template, and I just would rather carve my own path.
I get it.
So yeah,
And you
and I just
also
feel
have
like
this, you have the skills to do it though, Chris. So what about people who are, kind of newbies or may not be ready, for instance, to hire a team or an editor?
Mhm.
I mean, do we give a little grace?
Yeah, I think I was there too, but I got my I love to do it. I really do. I really love to get to the end of a video edit and go, okay, that feels, that feels like I've served somebody, like either my client and their audience, or the audience that in the community that I serve. It
Yeah.
feels good. Even if it doesn't, even if it gets 12 views on Instagram and 17 views on TikTok or whatever, there's just something very satisfying for me. And I put in so many hours to get to that point. It's just, you
Yeah.
don't I mean, it's like, and so, when people say put in the reps, I mean, it's not a fallacy. It is absolutely the truth. And if you don't like doing it, don't do it.
You know
You
what?
know,
What you
I
said, you do put in the effort and the work. You put in the effort and the work just to help promote this show. Before the show actually went live,
Mhm.
y'all, Chris is the only person I know that has, he took all I did was a thumbnail. I did a thumbnail and
That
I
thumbnail
was
is
like,
this right
hey,
here.
wait, let me pop you up on so they can see it. Yeah, it's slick, yeah. But
Yeah, the thumbnail's everything.
Chris took that thumbnail though and blew it up, like he made it. I told him he was magical because he took it and he turned it into like a motion video. Like he made it into something that was on stories on Instagram. You could tell he put, when he did that, I'm gonna tell you what it told me about you, Chris. It told me that everything you just said is truth. That you really truly believe in attention to detail and in serving your audience and making an impact, even though, I mean, I wasn't paying you to do that. I didn't ask you to do it. You just did it. And I've never seen anybody do that before. So I just want to give you kudos and tell you thank you for being you and being gifted to be able to do what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, I take this stuff very seriously. I like to have fun, obviously, and we cut up and this is a lot of fun for me. But I do take it very seriously. I do feel like this is a way for us as creators to create something that's here when we're gone.
Yeah.
When we're off this earth, if something I said tonight can help someone when I'm gone, then I feel like I feel good about that. I feel like tonight I've helped somebody and I can sleep and I can plus one myself before I lay my head down. I think that's why I take this stuff seriously. And
Yeah.
some days I don't feel like it. Some days we don't feel like it. Some days and we have to take care of ourselves. I think it's important we all take care of ourselves too.
Yeah.
And like, and serving others is a big part of what I do. Man, you got to take care of yourself. You got to sleep. You got to take your antibiotics, right?
Okay,
you got to,
he's trying to say something right now.
no,
Chris is getting on my head, y'all, because I've been a little under the weather, and I am on antibiotics. And I told him before the show, I was like, I got some cough drops over here. I have a whole bag full of Ricola
you haven't
cough
coughed
drops.
once.
I didn't.
You haven't
Actually,
coughed
I did.
once.
I did.
Oh, did you?
It's just I had you popped up on a big. Look, I did it like this. Right here, and then I muted myself.
You better
out.
I thought that's like when you hit the sad trombone. That's when you cough.
No. Live stream magic.
You learned that from JP High Tech, I think.
I did. I learned it from all of you cool guys out there that have been doing this for a hot minute. I'll pay attention. Look, Harry said, another dope guest. Thank you, guys. Look, if anybody has questions, we're getting ready to wrap it. So make sure you pop a little love in here and make sure you let Chris know. If you got questions or if you want to comment on what you've learned, if there's one nugget that you've learned tonight, I want you to definitely pop that in here. I love it. Rose has that target. She's like, hey, this is on.
What's up, Rose?
I love it, love it, love it. Tanya is an elevated being. I would like to think so, but it is not true. As much as
look at the power that you emanated tonight through the pain, through the sickness, and you delivered to the community. Boom.
Because look, it's important to me, just like you. It's important to me to show up.
Yeah.
I've had people that have said, hey, I show up because I see you show up, even when you don't want to, even when you're not feeling like it. If I commit to something, and I said that to a person today, anything I commit to, I'm doing it. Like, you're not going to know that it was a struggle to do it. You just know that it's done. So that's important to me.
Yeah.
When you need to go, here's a question. And then I want to make sure to honor and respect your time. I could be here with you all night, of course. But
let's do it.
But I know you've got things to do. When you need to go further with a video after using Descript, what do you use? So you said you use Final Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and if you use Adobe Premiere or, even CapCut, which I know is free or whatever, you can, import a video. What's up, Anna? You can import, your video from Descript into your favorite video editor and say, well, I want to add my little, logo and donut that I put on the end of all my video. You can do that. You can actually take that and put it into Descript and add it to all of your videos if you want to do that. We didn't even talk about the captions, and you can import any font you want that you have clearance for. You could do all of this stuff and brand it up so that it looks exactly the way you want it to and completely original. But yeah, I take it out of Descript, and since I know that I'm using Final Cut for my transitions and a few other little secret sauce things that I put on my videos, I pull it into Final Cut and I put my music on there, because for me, it's a little easier. Like, music is a huge part of what I do. So if anybody watches any of the videos that I do, and since I spent 30 years with Sony Music, and music is a huge component of my of my life, really. And so I'm in this business of spoken word, but if you watch videos, the music is a key component of telling that story, just like watching a documentary or watching any kind of movie. It needs to help compel the story. And so I need to use Final Cut in order to do that. I can't just like slap some stock music in there and go, oh, that sounds fun. it all has to be a component of that 59-second or less story.
I got a couple more questions real fast. If you're okay.
All right.
You're okay on
Yeah, I'm
time?
good. I'm good.
Okay. So Rose said, I think I follow you, but I'm curious to learn more about how you're using it. So what's the most important innovation you've seen from Descript? I think this is a great question. What is the most important innovation since you've been using it that you really love about Descript?
Well, yeah, video in general, I think is the biggest thing, and the ability to edit the video with the transcript. That's the like, it's kind of the guts of it, but it just works so well that I feel like that's the biggest selling point of it, is because for me, even though I can look at a sound wave or look at a video timeline like you do on most video digital audio workstations, and be able to kind of scroll along and make edits as you go, if I can look at the words and I can go, oh, this, if you're a reader, right, and you go, oh, this really says. And it's really easy for me to quickly look at a 1-hour interview and go, okay, Tanya asked this question, Dan answered it. Tanya asked this question, Dan answered it. So I can go to it and go, okay, here is her question, and here is 55 seconds of Dan's answer, and just pull it aside, and then go to the next question, and then go to the next question, and be able to pull that all into one, a bunch of little compositions. And so here is 15 different compositions. And then I go to it and I go, now it's time to tell stories. Now it's time to say, as Dan talks and he says something, I can pull in stock video. I can pull him in. I can pull him and Tanya in. I can pull in her expression, and I can create this story. And so Descript for me that's why I love to do it so much, is because it's taking content that sits on the digital shelf that you just hope people are watching on replay. Hope someone's going to take an hour and 20 minutes tonight and watch this entire replay. We can't ask people to do that. I wouldn't do that. No, absolutely. Right?
Nope.
Well, in my opinion, we've said a lot of stuff that can help people. So why not grab those things and serve them up to the right people? And that's really the beauty of it.
I do love that. I do. David Hunt, yep, we're about to close it out, sir, but the replay is going to be up, and it's always
Thanks
up
for
you.
coming.
You are a rock star, David. So glad you're
Tip
here.
your waiters and waitresses on your way out.
I know.
Tip your bartender.
Rose said, before Descript, I was using Otter, then using iMovie, but using Descript's transcript and editing the video is so great. Okay, cool. Very nice, Rose. So she's already using it. Right Mix said, thank you so much. Catherine said, thank you for this. Y'all have an amazing night. Thank you. She was mentioning about if you've ever seen a movie without music soundtrack, then you know how important it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. 9 Design, I was asking people to leave you a little love, so I see that that's what they're doing. This has been great and very helpful. Thank you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Gosh, thank you, Chris, for spending all this time with me.
Oh, thank you, Tanya.
It's, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. Right before
Likewise.
the show, he was like, yeah, we're not going to have fun at all, are we? Because we knew. I knew he was going to cut up. When he told me he was from ATL, I'm like, yeah, he's getting ready to cut up.
This is fun. I mean, why? I mean, seriously, it's, we get serious every once in a while, but I mean, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, what are the key components of being a good podcaster?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, and so I was like, and then they kept, like, is the right kind of microphone? And like, they start going there, and I was like, listen, you just got to make sure that you can be heard and understood.
Yeah.
Number 2, you got to like it. You really got to like it. That means sometimes you got to have fun. And number 3, don't be boring.
No. Right.
Don't be boring.
I used to be really stuffy. You may not know this, but coming from a background that was a corporate trainer and corporate HR and all of that, I used to be really stuffy. And when I started doing live video at first, I thought, well, I need to present myself, in a certain way. And then finally I was like, this is not fun. This is like having a job. if I'm going to do this because I want to do it, I'm going to do it in a way that I can really creatively express myself, be who I
Yeah.
am, and have a great time. And so that's why I love getting to talk to people like you, Chris, because you're so down to earth and you're highly knowledgeable, very wise. You know a lot. You have a lot of
What did
experience.
you call me? You
I
called me
said
why?
wise. I didn't
God.
say wise guy. I said you're wise.
Okay.
Difference.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I don't mean to shun the compliments aside. Thank you for that. This has been long time coming. I'm honored to have been a part of this. And anytime we could do this. And any questions anybody's got from Tanya's community, please feel free to connect with me and watch the videos. If you got any questions on any of this stuff, I'm more than happy to answer.
Let me pop you up back up again real quick here. So chrisstone.contact. If you go to that page, you will see all his contact information with all the socials, and you'll see even a few sample videos that you can dive into right there with Dealcasters. There's Jim, the great
There
Jim
you
Fusion. There you go.
Marketing the Marine Corps way.
Love it, love it, love it. The Jolt effect. Okay, hey, there's a lot of stuff on here with Victor Antonio. Oh yeah, you said you produced.
Mhm.
Is that what you do for this video, this
Yeah,
podcast?
one of the shows that I produce, the Sales
Awesome.
Influencer podcast series that he does. I also did a documentary for him when he spoke at the 50th anniversary for National Speakers Association
Wow.
as well, called Reception, and so yeah, that's really what I do is produce shows for uh, motivated entrepreneurs, business owners that want to show and they just don't want to do it themselves.
I
They don't
love
have
it.
time, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can do it
So you do
right.
Descript. I don't want to do Descript. You do it, Stone. Okay.
I know. All right. Oh, and yes, Right Mix for Business by Sue Ann. She said, I love that documentary, Chris.
Thank you, Sue Ann. Sue Ann's awesome.
That is
Good stuff.
amazing. All righty, sir. Thank you again for being on the show. I'm going to go ahead and take us
Thank you.
out.
All right.
It has been such a pleasure. I really appreciate you. Let me go ahead and switch it over here and remind folks to like the show. If you haven't liked this episode, I mean, what are you thinking? It's time. It's time to like it. So make sure you do like it. Thank you for sharing the note about feeling better. I definitely will work on that since Chris told me that I need to get rest. Hear him chuckling in the background. Look, I will look forward to seeing you all on next week. We have another special guest, so keep up with us. I've shared throughout this video a couple of different ways to get connected. So streamlikeaboss.tv is my main website. In addition to getnoticedwithvideo.com. Feel free to reach out if you have questions. And if there's anything that you actually put in the comments that I need to pass on to Chris, trust me, I will do that. Right? If I can't answer it for you or can't find a resource or Chris can't answer it, we'll make sure to let you know a couple of other places that you might be able to follow. But come back and watch us, Stream Like a Boss TV on Thursday night, same time, same bat channel. You know the whole saying. We will see you next time in the stream. And thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Take care.